Welcome to Subramani. A little change in the format. You can't see my books. Uh, anyway, that is the smallest part of it. Continuing our value investment series, let us look at some of the characteristics of the shares that I have bought over a period of time, and let us try to look at them. First of all, it has to have a decent entry decent dividend yield, which makes it attractive to enter. Now, what I mean is, in a current situation, let's say the savings bank account interest gives you about 2.5% return. Your dividend should give you around 3.25 perhaps. That is the base level at which you will enter a dividend paying stock. Otherwise, you would rarely buy it for dividend. You may buy it for growth. Then it should be increasing the dividends from that level. And over a period of time, yes, the portfolio will appreciate, but largely the dividend will appreciate in such a way that you can have dividend as an important part of your income post-retirement, because your portfolio is oriented towards a dividend. So that is how you bought. So what all will you see? First of all, like I said, you will see a good entry point, a good growth. Both that is also necessary, because there is no point in investing in companies which will not grow the dividend. Having said that, you want some companies which may not grow the dividend because the yield is very high. Suppose the yield is 9%, and say Coal India today is available at 11%. Chances of the dividend growing are almost remote, but as long as you hold, you will continue to get your 11%, assuming even if they don't grow the dividend. And that is fantastic, considering the gilt is at 5.5%, right? So 2x the gilt from a government company. Is it sustainable? I have my doubts. So you will buy some shares which are in that category, and you will buy some shares which are low dividend payout, but good chances of it growing. Let's say you buy a share which is today giving you a yield of say 3% or 2.5%, but you think it can grow at 25% every year, or at even 10% every year, or 8% every year. If you are sure that inflation, you can't be sure, but assuming inflation is at 4-5%, and your dividend growth is at 8%, it is a great way to be building your portfolio for your retirement. Even assuming you're 30 years of age or 35 years of age, you're building it for your age of 60, so you got 25 years. In that time, the portfolio will appreciate, and your dividends will keep increasing. So that should be a good entry and an exit criteria. An exit criteria happens when your portfolio is appreciating, the dividend is not appreciating, and at some stage you feel that there are better dividend yield stories available. Remember, we are trying to build a dividend yield and growth portfolio meant for your retirement. We are not just growing a portfolio, right? So some portion of it we are currently trying to allocate to growing it for 25-30 years so that the dividend that you create for yourself is greater than your expenses, or at least meets 80% or 90% of your expenses, right? So as long as the company continues to pay a dividend, you just hold on. So there are companies like, say, General Mills and Johnson & Johnson, etc., which have paid dividends over 60, 70, 100 years, right? So then you just hold on. There is no reason for you to sell. But the base price, if it goes up dramatically and you find that the dividend yield is dipping, that may be a reason for you to switch that for some other share and say, okay, I have benefited here, now let me reinvest that money somewhere else. The other way to look at it is pretty stupid to sell a share just because it has gone up. Or is it stupid, and it is also stupid to buy a share just because it has gone down. So don't use that. Continue to use your correct criteria. We have seen the criteria necessary for investing in an equity share. So first of all, the conditions necessary for investing in an equity share remain as it is. After that, you put the dividend filter. So it's not that the dividend filter overrides this. Basically, what to look for in a company: growth, quality of management, that does not change. After that, you also look for dividend. Next step you need is a diversified portfolio. You cannot have only banking or things like that. This year you would have suffered a lot if you had a completely banking oriented portfolio, because let us assume you had State Bank of India, HDFC Bank and some other bank. When RBI says you cannot pay dividend, you will get zero dividend. So you need a diversified portfolio. So you will have some commodities, you will have some obviously there will be a lot of utilities, because it is utilities which give good dividend yields. You will soon find that the telecom companies are in that category, because they are boring, dull, boring utilities. So currently in India, they are in the growth phase, and therefore they are. You will get far more appreciation than you will get dividend. Once you start getting dividend and getting appreciation, you can decide how much you want appreciation and how much of dividends you want. But diversification, there is absolutely no escape. So you will have some oil companies, some oil marketing companies, banks, maybe mutual funds, and all of them will fall into that category in the next 10 years. But right now they are all in the growth phase. Even insurance companies are dull and boring. They grow over very long periods of time. But yes, that should be part of your portfolio, because all these companies will pay decent dividends. They'll be more predictable, and it will do sea of good for you during your retirement phase. Having diversified, you also need to do rupee cost averaging or SIP method of acquiring the share. So if you have a good share and you think it's a good share worth holding for a long period of time, just keep on doing an SIP, which means further allocation of money will keep on happening in those shares, and the dividends also will get reinvested, but maybe a little more sensibly. If you have bought a share which currently you think is not justified on dividend yield, there are two things you can do. One is sell off and say this should not be part of my portfolio because it does not fit into my basic dividend yield criteria, and I would never have bought it today. As a fresher, I would never have bought it today. Therefore, I decide that even no fresh purchases will happen, nor will the dividend get reinvested. Now here I am contradicting myself, saying brainlessly reinvest dividends in the company in which from which you have got it. But at some stage you may say, no, it doesn't make sense for me to buy an FMCG at this price. I don't think a Nestle is very attractive at this price. So I will not buy an FMCG, but I will go and buy a banking stock, something like that, or I'll buy a Colgate which will give me a slightly better yield than Nestle, right? I'll stick to the good quality FMCG, not to the upcoming FMCG, mid-cap FMCG, Maybe that also, but in FMCG, I will look at the price, and I think Nestle is more expensive than Colgate, so I will buy this. I'm not even trying to justify whether you should have Nestle or Colgate. I have both and I have no regrets. But I'm just giving you an example of what you might do. Thank you.